Held on the Baku city circuit with a unique blend of wide straights and twisty sections through the picturesque ancient city, the Azerbaijan GP is host to the third round in Season 7. Tonight, I'm in the booth, and we're going to be joined by RC Action. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, and another great day for race.
I think so. I want to give a huge shout out to Savage and Earth. Thank you so much for the subs and the gifted subs. You guys are amazing. I hope you guys are having a great night. It's going to be a heck of a race. I'm excited for it. We have the castle portion out here, but if you guys don't know a lot about the track, let's find out and let's hear what they have to say about it.
Baku is built different. We have tight and narrow streets. Here in the capital city, we have castle walls, but the main sight to see today, Formula One cars moving at rapid speed. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1, leading to a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line.
A beautiful track, but a lot of different technical parts that you have to worry about, especially when you're driving through there with multiple cars. So RC, I gotta know, which part is most difficult for you as a driver?
You know, the obvious answer would be the castle section, because you only got one lane and it's very narrow. But honestly, if you got a car that's kind of got some understeering to it, the stretch right after that. So if you got a little snap going on, that might be your worst section. But of course, everybody's going to be looking into the castle section. Just one section off, you're done for.
We're seeing these guys already out for qualifying. We have a little over 15 minutes on the board. Every last driver is on those soft tires. And I can tell you, I've already heard a couple of drivers complaining about the hards. So I'm not sure if we're going to see a lot of that going on. Probably softs and mediums, but RC, what would be your strategy heading into tonight as far as what tires you're going to take and when?
I would go ahead and I'll start off with the soft compound tires, especially if I'm somewhere to 7th to the back of the pack, try to get some extra go off the line. However, of course, they will fall off compared to those medium tires a lot quicker. So perhaps you get a 5-lap, maybe a 10-lap run, and then go on to those medium tires. Or you can just go ahead and play the long game and put those mediums on first and then save the last 10 or so laps for them soft tires. It's just wherever you get off the line and where you're at towards the end of the race, it's going to make your finish what you put on the track.
We already have the fastest time on the board, the only time on the board just yet, and it's a 141.4, and then, 141.4 is going to be Kerr, and then Ferrari not directly behind him with a 141.5. And I can tell you in practice, there was a lot of competition on the speed charts. Ferrari, he had a 140.9 with Hawk. He came home with a 142.4 in practice. Polish was third with a 142.4, just a couple of hundredths above Hawk, and Kerr was a 144.0. So the times were incredibly close, but Ferrari, he did have a 2-second gap over second of Hawk. So I'm curious what we're going to see here in qualifying, but Kerr already atop of the charts with a 141.4.
The favorites already showing themselves to be the favorites in this race. Qualifying is one thing when you try to get it down via time, But when it's time for the positions to change in the race, you're going to have to keep your cool, especially, again, we're on another street circuit. So for the fact that it's a street circuit, but it's the famous Azerbaijan GP, that's something that you really need to keep your head clear of, because street circuits, they'll bite you if you're just off by a hair of that racing mode.
I agree. This is a tricky track for sure. A lot of difficult places that you can hit the walls, and that is most definitely one. We are on board with Hokie Fan right now, and he's got someone directly behind him. And I'll tell you what, that is going to be a tricky spot. I think we might see a couple of DNFs tonight just from that turn alone. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that. But I want to give a shout out to Evan out in chat. What's up? How are you, Libert? It's been a while. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you again for all the subs. You guys are amazing. Quite a lesser field than what we had last week. I believe that we had 18 or 19 drivers. So tonight we have 14. Oh no, it's Shames. He has disqualified so far in qualifying. We'll see what happens, but just over 11 minutes and 28 seconds left on the board to make a time. Let's go over. Hawk had to leave, so 13 drivers tonight. All right, Dion is saying Hawk had to leave. Unfortunate. He was here all practice, ran some great time, so unfortunate to see that he will not be here. But let's go ahead to the driver standings. Frarinet, he will be in the lead with 44 points. Mayor of Bag City, after last week's win at Saudi Arabia, he will be in second with 43. We have Kerr with 30. He's going to be in third. And fourth, we have Polish Hammer. Fifth is Culture. And JC has 8. He's going to be in sixth place with Justin in seventh. Hawk is going to be eighth. Maverick in ninth. And Jacob's going to round out your top 10. So I think it's going to be pretty close tonight. We have a lot of strong drivers, a lot of competition out here, RC.
That strong competition always breeds stronger competitiveness, which is always something that I love. But when you also, with this track, it can also be a deadly version of that. But it's going to be fun to watch the drivers go around this track 26 times, to be precise, for this race. It's just 26 times that you're going to have to be perfect. And you're going to have to respect the other drivers, where they're at. Are they on the inside of you, on the outside? Whatever the situation is, you need to make sure you race cleanly throughout the entirety of the 26 laps. Not just from the drivers around you, but also the track.
Absolutely. And that's what, like you said, is very difficult. You have to do that 26 times. You have several corners that can be very tricky, and some of them are just a lot of fun to take out here. We're going to go after we come out of the castle section. There's a couple of corners that you can just full throttle through. And everyone is telling me it feels a lot better than it did in the last game. So really fun for these guys to race several portions of this track. But some of it, a lot of drivers are not looking forward to. And that's going to be turn 8 and turn 1, lap 1. As I always say, if you can make it past that, we should be okay. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Libert, I'm glad you're doing great. It has been a long time. I'm sorry, RC, what'd you say?
I said hopefully we ain't got any real-life lockup situations going into one from the real race a few years ago, because that would take out most of the top of the field if that were to happen. So let's hope everybody respects each other and goes into turn 1 cleanly.
I remember that they were talking about either last season or the season before. There was kind of like a big pileup heading into. It was on the straight from what they were saying, which is very interesting. But yeah, we've had a couple of past incidents out here on track. So I'm curious, will tonight be a clean race, or are we going to see some safety cars? What's your opinion? Will we see a safety car or two, perhaps?
I'm thinking that we're at least going to have one. And it's just the history of the street course itself, especially when you're going up through the capital section. I think that's where we're going to have it if it has to guess anywhere on the track. I mean, there's 20 turns, and when the castle section is the obvious spot, I try to lean away from that, but I think it's going to be there. I think someone's going to end up overshooting or undershooting and trying to turn in just slightly too quick, and it's going to cost them a race. And of course, when someone wrecks in that section, it's an automatic safety car. Maybe we even see a red flag in that section. I don't know, but that's just the standout section of the track.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to make things very interesting. Ferrari Nut goes to the top of the board with a 140.7. And I know on the public speed charts, he was in the 140s. So hitting about that time, these guys are very, very quick out here. He's second in time with a 141.4. We know he's got a little speed left in him. We'll see what happens with that. But I think this race is going to be close for several. And speaking of this race going to be close for several, we're going to be doing a prediction tonight. And my question is for you guys. I just picked a driver. Where is Leaf Justin, 24, going to finish? And we'll give you these options out here, and we'll see what happens as far as the race goes. Leaf is out there, and P4 just made up a move, 142.201, so extremely close. You can see a lot of 142s on the boards. Competition, midfield is always one of the best battles you will see out there. I'm always excited for it, and there's always a ton of action going on with those drivers. So tonight will be no different.
And just to clarify, Oh No It's Shames got disqualified for dangerous parking or so it was told through the FIA thing. So that's why he's disqualified, and that's why he's starting 14th.
Fair enough. Bloomy shows that he is not in the car. I know Hawk won't be in the race. So unfortunate to see, but Dion is on his out lap. Mayor of Bag City has yet to put a lap down. I think he's holding his cards close to his chest, waiting for the final minute or two to put down his fastest time. But again, I think this is one of these tracks where qualifying is going to be hugely important to make sure that you have the starting spot that you need heading into the race. Am I going to be correct on that, RC, or can you make up some spots in this track?
You can make up some spots, but it's going to have to be on the straightaways, and I don't think you'll be able to necessarily do it. You can do it on the backstretch, which is I'm referring to after the castle section, but it's going to be tighter than coming through turns 19, 20, and into turn 1. So anywhere that you're going to want to pass, it's either going to be from turn 20 to turn 1. It's going to be tight, but you can also do it in turns 1 to turns 2, 2, and 3. That's where I would pass. That's where I would focus my attention. But if any other place on the track, I want to stay right at the taillight of the driver ahead of me.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep on the competition, put the pressure on, and make sure that you're not going to lose that guy. That way, when you do hit the DRS zones and those straightaways, you can make the move in order to better your position. But qualifying, I feel like in F1, it is just so important to be sure that you're in a good qualifying spot to not fall back and have to fight everyone out of the gate. It just makes your job so much harder. It's an uphill battle to climb. Liber says half of the track is pretty technical. The other half, you got to be fast in a straight line. That is so true, Liber. And I've heard of these drivers saying some of them, you know, they have that straight line speed. And others are saying you can have the straight line speed all you want, but as you're heading into the corner, it's just going to make your life that much more difficult. So we'll see if some of those drivers change their strategy and their setup on that. Yeah. Some of these guys, if you see them flying down the straightaway faster than the others, they might struggle in the corners, especially coming off the exits and getting into it.
I just want to shout out this one corner that kind of gets put on the radar just because castle section. Turn 19. That's the other section that I want to look at. And if we're looking on Dion, he's going through it right now. That corner can cause so many issues. Because if you're trying to catch up, 'cause I mean, that's not the straightaway, but it's the start of the straightaway. So when you're going through there and you're trying to get any type of speed on the driver ahead of you, that turn can just knock you out of whack just enough to make you facing the wall instead of the line that you need to be going. So watch for some understeer through that section. See if how many drivers try to stick close to the wall as much as possible, because there is going to be some outward bounce to that corner. And is there any going to be bounce coming out of the corner? Because that corner can be devastating just as much as the castle section. So just because it looks nice doesn't mean it is.
I think it's a fun section myself. I have seen drivers hit going through on the outside, hitting their car against the wall. Definitely something they're going to have to watch, but you can full throttle parts of that. So it'll be interesting to see. One single mistake, and that could absolutely end your night. So they will have to be careful through it, especially if they're in a battle. But I'm interested to see. And Libra says, definitely a fun track. I agree. You know, the scenery here is incredible, and you have a little bit of technical aspects to it, and then you have the fun corners where you can just full throttle. You got the straightaway speed, so there's a little bit for everyone. It's very interesting to see how they will handle it, who's going to come out on top, who's going to win. But so far this season, we've only had 2 races. The first race, we had Ferrari win at Bahrain, and Mayer won last week at Saudi Arabia. I'm curious, are we going to see Kerr on the board for a win tonight? Will we see Jacob, who was very dominating last season, had a great season, came in with a tie for the championship? How is he going to do tonight? I want to see a lot of speed out of him.
We're only about 40 seconds left. So everybody who's on their outlap, they're in Sector 3, coming around turn 19 right now. They should be able to make a run. But everybody else will probably run out of time. Jake's gonna make it for a lap.
These guys like to wait.
Nut's gonna make it.
Yeah. 140.7 right now. 141.0 for Kerr. These guys do like to wait for the final second to get those lap times in, and pole position. See what happens. Couple of guys already finished. Justin will be P4. P6, JC on the board with a 142.8. Hawk, who will not be racing. Obviously, he's finished. Maddie, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Any word if it's going to rain at all? I don't know. That's one thing I wish that they would let us know. As spectators, is it going to rain? What's the weather going to be like? Because it does not look very sunny out, I can assure you.
It would be interesting if it did rain in the race, because this track would be absolutely, completely different than what it is in the dry. And I know everybody says that, but for this track, it is. I mean, where you brake compared to where you would brake in the dry, where you turn in to where you don't turn in, and this track completely changes. It just turns itself around and go, okay, learn it all over again, because it's raining now. It's not dry. So respect me as the track. Go and learn again.
I agree. Ferrari Nut out here. He will be your pole sitter, 140.7. Kerr will be in second, 141.0. And Mayor of Back City going to be directly behind with a 141.1. Very, very close. A lot of guys on the board with a 141. So Times are extremely close, and through the whole field, it's going to be a 5-second gap. So these guys will spread out just a little bit, but as I said earlier, these guys midfield will be in a huge battle. I almost want to say it looks like it's going to start raining out there, RC.
We'll see. We'll know once the frame turns over. But I have a question for you. If you're, let's say you're JC here, you're starting in 7th. Would you go on the soft tire or would you go on the medium tire?
You know, I would probably go on the soft. What would you do? I want that speed.
I would want the speed, but if you get a great launch off of the grid, timed it perfectly, that'd be a few laps. However, or that'd be a few spots. However, you're going to have to keep those spots until those softs wear out. So it's definitely a risk to play for the mediums, and one that I'm not shy of doing. So I would actually go with the mediums, try to last out in the first stint.
Fair enough. And I know we saw a couple of those types of strategies in the last race. So I think it's a fair strategy. Most certainly. We'll see what these guys do as they come out. We are going to be doing our formation lap as these guys get prepared to make 26 laps at Azerbaijan. Maddie, I am interested to see how it goes also. Savage says, weatherman here, Minnesota may get one foot of snow. It is supposed to be springtime. What is this? Meanwhile, it's like 60-something here. I don't think Ohio knows what weather they want to have. We go from 70 to 30 tornadoes to snow. It makes no sense to me. These guys are doing their formation lap right now as we speak. Getting ready, and you see Ferrari Nut, who had an incredible battle last week. If you did not see it, go back. You can tune in at Twitch/FrozenToes24 right on this channel, or you can view it on YouTube at FrozenToes24. An incredible battle for the win. But after it was all said and done, it was it was Mayer that won the race. Ohio is very bipolar. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Another thing to keep an eye on, 80 kilometers per hour for pit speed. I mean, when you're using DRS coming down into the pits, don't overdo it. It's 80, so make sure you don't get penalized for speeding.
Saw a couple of that last week. A couple of guys getting penalties for speeding into pits, and we had a few penalties just overall last week. We'll see how many we get here tonight, but you know, man, I have a feeling we're gonna see some cars into the wall, and we'll see if it causes kind of like a big pile up. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. 29 degrees Savage. That's insane. Libert, yes. Both times we had a tornado. You know, it wasn't near me, but it was not that far. We had one crossing the river very close to me. Kind of wild. Here they come down the straightaway, getting ready to grid up. See what tires.
For anyone who has not played F1 before, everyone is doing this manually, setting up in the grid. So if someone overdoes their pit stall grid slot, they'll be pushed farther back into their grid spot. So all this is manual. All of this is the drivers themselves putting their car in position. And of course, anytime when you get up there and you stop on that purple, that's when you got the perfect parking position.
I would be pushed back every time, I can assure you. JC is out there on the soft tires, Polish on the hards. Very interesting. All right, let's get going to Ferrari Nut as we wait for the lights to go out. Here we go. The lights are out at Azerbaijan. We are green for 26 laps here and already side by side going into the first corner. Ferrari Nut. Man, these guys are incredibly close, but Kerr, he is going to be right behind Ferrari Nut. Ferrari going to lead us in the way here. Mayor of Bag City in third, Polish. He's going to be P4 so far.
A lot of more shocking for positions down in the back. A lot of hard braking. Dion up in the 9th position as Sober David keeps falling back. And he's just trading positions with Bloomy as we have a caution turn 1.
Caution turn 1, and it looks... I'm not sure quite who.
My bad. It was Oki fan. I guess he hit the wall. I did not see it completely, but he has fallen off the pace. Already 4 seconds back from P13.
More than likely, possibly might come in to fix that damage there, but Ferrari Nut still leading the field here. Just over a second in front of Kerr.
Dion's already out.
Man, we need replays. Safety car is deployed. Dion, so early in the race. Do we know what corner was that in? Was that in turn 8?
It was turn 8.
How do you know that? How do you find that out? Did you just see it?
I looked back on the screen there. It was turn 8. I saw the Aston Martin just peeking out with that corner. So he overshot it. What happened? And he met his untimely end.
Turn 8 already took its first victim, and it is going to be Dion for dub. So unfortunate. Man. Maddie, sorry to hear that they were so close. Yeah, I had friends that got hit by it. Just very, very close. We've had a lot of them lately for some reason. Hessel Section 1, F1 Driver 0. It happens. It probably will not be the only one, too, fortunately. So far, we have Ferrari Nut going to lead. Kerr in second. Mayor of Bag City going to round out the podium. Polish, he is P4 on the outside looking in of the podium. Jacob looking pretty solid in 5th. And Leaf Justin, who is our prediction tonight, sitting P6.
David and Bloom came into pits. David did have damage. I didn't see any changes for Bloomy. He could have had some, but those are your 2 pit stops right there.
Very interesting. Hokie Fan's going to be 11th. Shame's going to be 10th. JDM Hawk in 9th. JC in 8th. Culture in 7th. And as we mentioned before, Justin will be in 6th. Safety car is still active. See when they are able to make it go back to racing. How difficult is it for the safety cars as you go around here? I know it's pretty sensitive to the distance or the timing of it, but is it easy to get a penalty when you're under safety car?
Depends on if you collide with any other cars. Of course, that's going to be a penalty. The safety car, if I remember correctly, they made it solid this year in this game. And I think that's also a penalty. But there are some sections where the safety car, as far as driving aspect goes, is kind of faster in some areas than it is in others. So keeping up with it can be a challenge. Because it's going pit speed or the delta speed. So really, if you're the first driver, try to stay right up on this bumper as best as possible without hitting it. And for the drivers, if you start falling back a little too much, you can get penalized for being too far back. So you definitely need to try to stay up close to the safety car or the car in front of you as much as possible.
have Sober David trying to catch the field here as we are in Sector 1. Still under safety car. I would imagine that we will go back to green this time around as we head to lap 4 of 26. Unfortunately, we have already lost Dion for dub. We'll see if we can keep everyone else out of trouble. Keep him racing tonight.
He should be caught up enough for us to go racing this time. We'll see how the game plays it out.
Yeah, he looks caught up at this point, so I would say we should... Good. See what they determine, but these buildings just... a lot of these tracks just have amazing scenery. And this is no different. Just absolutely phenomenal. I'm kind of surprised there's not rain, though, because it was looking like we could possibly see some wet on the track. But so far, it is sunny out.
Lock on Stratus just resubbed for 36 months. I forgot you were streaming, sorry.
Stratus, what's up? Oh, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Yes, I am streaming. We're doing F1 here. Baku.
There it is. Going in the time.
Yeah, here we go. You, your voice keeps lagging, sir. We will be going back racing this time around, heading into lap 4. We'll see what kind of start these drivers get as we head onto the straightaway. All these drivers thinking, you know what Ferrari's thinking? He's thinking, I just need to keep everyone behind me. Kerr's thinking, I need a fantastic start to get in front of them. All while staying off of each other as you head into turn 1. But we are back to green once again, heading into turn 1. We'll see if we can stay out of trouble here. Single file line as we head into it. So far, so clean. Little bit of drama in the back. Hawk moves down, and I didn't think he was racing, but here he is. JC up to 8th. Couple of movers here. Do you think we're in the being patient part of the race, RC, or are we going to see it ramp up here shortly?
Well, right now, if you're mid-pack, mid to rear pack, I would say probably about 7, you're kind of wanting to get in front of some of the cars ahead of you, for sure. But if you're in that front 5, 6, you're being cautious and just going to stay right there, right where you can pass them if you want to, but let everything die, just calm. So I think we're going to see 2 different types of fields here. The one that's going to be aggressive and wanting those positions, and the ones that are just wanting to race.
We have a couple of battles that are brewing up here. Jacob all over the back bumper of Polish Hammer. Gonna be close here as they are exiting the castle section into Sector 3. We also have JC, who is very, very close to Culture. We'll see if he makes a move down the straightaway. Ferrari Nut with the fastest time of a minute 45.8. And here goes JC past Culture. He's going to go for 7th as we head into turn 1. Caution Sector 1. Looks like that is going to be Culture. Not sure what happened. We were just with him. Man. Already.
They're just going to keep it at a Sector 1 caution. So it must have been in the runoff section of the track.
Yeah, unfortunate to see we have 2 drivers. Out of this race, 12 that are in it. Ferrari Nut still leading the field here. Kerr right behind. He has closed that gap a little bit. Mayor of Bag City, 0.6 behind Kerr. So these top three, they are absolutely gapping the field. Polish Hammer going to be in fourth, almost 2 seconds behind. So this battle for the lead is going to be for the top three.
I'm wondering if, and it doesn't look like it so far, but I'm wondering if Mayor took any damage. He came around turn 15 last lap, and he bounced out towards the wall on the other side. So I wonder if he hit the wall. Hopefully, a safety car comes out as soon as I say something.
Yeah, it looks a little hectic out here. We do have a car into the wall. That is going to be
Turn 15
Shane's.
attacks.
Man, oh man, you guys, are we going to have any drivers left? Travis, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Castle section is just claiming these cars. They are dropping like flies. Lap 5 of 26. A fun racetrack, and I'll tell you what, it is hard enough to race it on your own, let alone with 13 other drivers. Last week we had 18 or 19 drivers, and you see a lot of drivers going in. We have Bloomy, we have David going into pit under the safety car.
It's going to make the second stop for them apiece. Oh, Bloomy. I hope he got a warning for that. I don't know if you saw it on your side, but he kind of passed the line coming out of the pit lane exit there. He was supposed to stay to the left of the white line. He ran over the curbs of turn 1, so he should have a warning there for that.
Luckily, it's a warning and not an actual penalty yet. Travis says, I got a feeling that will not be the last driver out. Unfortunately, I have a feeling you are correct. I don't want it to be, but I think that will be the case.
Looking at the FIA penalties given so far, we've had warnings for Polish and Mayor of Bag City for exceeding track limits. And then Bloomy did get a warning for crossing the pit lane white line exit.
Drivers will have to watch those limits. Make sure that they don't get any more. Still under safety car going into lap 7 here. I'll tell you what I'm very interested in is Polish Hammer taking the hard tire compound. We have a few that are out on the softs and a ton out on mediums, but from what I'm understanding, the hards do not drive well at all, so I'm kind of surprised that he went out there on the hards. I guarantee RC that probably his pit stop will go onto the softs.
More than likely. I mean, you want to get to this place where you really want to, be able to use those softs, and I think he's in the right position for that. Just, we're still on lap 7, so maybe it might be a little too early. You might be thinking a little too early, and I would understand that thought because there is 26 laps and we've only been through going on to 7 now. But right now, I think he's good. I think he's got it where he needs to be. Just need to make up a few positions.
Loomy, 5-second penalty, cross the pit lane exit white line. Just spoke about that earlier, and here we are. Man, take a look at these positions gained. Our top 7 drivers have not gained or lost any positions. JDM Hawk is going to be gaining 4 positions out there. Hokie Fan, he gains 1. David loses 2, and Bloomy gains 2. Very interesting. No movers up in the top 7.
So, unfortunately, I found a glitch.
And what's the glitch?
Don't check the race director while you're spectating, because I can't get out of the menu.
Oh. I found a few glitches. You know, nothing surprises me on this game. We had a glitch where I couldn't even tell where anyone was. It just kept flashing. If you need to leave, I can send you an invite.
That's what I'm gonna have to shut the game down completely.
Lap 7 heading into 8. Hopefully, yep, safety car in this lap. I was just about to say, hopefully we will have the safety car go in, and indeed we will. So lap 8, we will be back to green. Ferrari Nut will once again lead us off to green, and I'm hoping for some clean racing out here. No safety cars for a while, if any. Evan says, I think this race is going to be wild. I think it already is wild. Hopefully it doesn't get too much more wild. See what happens here. Are we getting ready to full throttle this down the straightaway as we head back to green? Her directly behind. The nerves that these drivers have to be feeling. You know you got to be nervous, but here we go. Ferrari with a great start. Kerr right behind. Mayor of Bag City, 0.3 back. Polish Hammer, he's going to be P4. Let me send you an invite real quick. Jacob going to be in 5th. You can see the long train that we have going into Sector 1 around the 2nd corner. All the way through. I think these guys are trying to take it just a little easier than they were before. That would be another trouble spot, I would imagine. Some of those left tires maybe hitting that wall as they head around. We'll have to watch these guys, but man. Look at those lines. You have to love it.
So you like those almost up against the wall lines, huh?
I do. I like testing the limits. Making it so where if you put your hand out, you can touch the wall. It's nice. But then that's what also gets you in trouble.
Well, you get no shortage of near touching all lines in F1, that's for sure.
Oh, that is true. I would be touching every wall, and it wouldn't be with my hand. It would be with the wheels. You name it. I would probably be out of every single race. We're on board with Jacob sitting P5, currently just behind Polish Hammer. You see these battles all the way through. Justin still sitting 6th. You can see him a little further way back. He's just over a second back, sitting P6. We have some movement here. Kerr falls down to 3rd. Mayor of Bag City makes a pass for P2, heading into the 1st corner. Lap 9 of 26. A ton of racing left. Knock on wood, but these guys have seemed to settle into the track and trying to find their way. A little bit more patient than they were before. Only 11 drivers left. This is crazy.
So now we're getting to that point where people are starting to break away. You got your first 3, and then you have Polish and Jacob racing together. Then you got JC and Leaf, and then you got the rest of the field.
Yeah, Jacob into the wall behind Polish. That is going to push him behind a little bit. He's got to have some damage from that. I can't imagine that he doesn't.
The question would be what type of damage. Because right now, while he does have the left side of his front wing is missing, I do see that. So he does have slight damage to that front wing, which almost about sent him into that wall.
See how he overcomes
in the F1
this.
game, Frozen, it can be the wing that can be damaged. It can be the rear wing that can be damaged. It can be your tires that can be damaged. And the underfloor. So that's just a few things that you'll have to worry about when you're racing these tight circuits.
What is the biggest thing that you do not want to damage that would affect your car and how it runs? Obviously, you don't want to like total your car, but what's something that you can still run with, but just makes it really, really hard?
So you can take some wing damage. Like we're seeing Jacob, he's missing a part of his, not a part of.
Oh!
Oh, and he just DNF'd.
Yeah, man. Safety car is out once again. We just got on board with Jacob as soon as he nailed that wall, and I guarantee that is from part of that missing wing. It makes steering very, very difficult when you're missing those wings. It just helps so much.
I was about to say, the whole steering aspect of your car changes, even if it's just the slightest damage like Bloomy had there, or Jacob had there. That made a difference in between running in there normally compared to running in there cautiously. I don't think he let off the throttle frozen, but I think that the damage was just significant to not be able to make that little weird turn inside a pit lane and get him all the way through.
Absolutely. You got to remember, Jacob, I mean, he had such an amazing season last season. A ton of wins heading into the final race. Tied for the championship with his teammate. And this season is just so far a rough start for him, and I hate to see it for him. Very talented, very fast, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes nothing you can do about it, but he is out. We're down to 10 drivers.
And I think it's 9 if I'm not mistaken, because did Dion say that Hawk had to leave?
He did say so. I was wondering, and his car has been ghosted out, so would they really have the AI drive for him the entire time?
Yep, because he has done qualifying, so
okay.
That's the one thing that is out there is the AI car driving for him.
Well, his AI is currently sitting 8th, not terrible. These guys, only 10 in the race. I'm scared to see what's going to happen next year. Is there any way that you can get Jacob in the party and we can give him an interview?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
All of these drivers, all 10 of them, into the pits, changing the tires, fixing any damage that they might possibly have. Sober David with 2 stops. Bloomy with 3 stops. Ferrari out. Mayer, Kerr, Polish, JC all out. 6 and below are still in on their way out. So many drivers on the hard tire compound. I'm just shocked. They do have quite a race left. But I can't imagine that this will not have another safety car out the way this is going. This is incredible. A very difficult race.
We're already on, I believe it's the 3rd safety car of this race so far, and we've only have technically 9 drivers. So, congratulations everybody, you can DNF now and you can still get points.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. This guy's getting those points. Repeat, what's up? He says what's going on in the booth. Got the blacks and the reds. I know. Only one driver on soft, and it's gonna be Polish Hammer on the complete opposite tire taking as everyone else. That's kind of an odd thing to say, but there you have it.
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at who we have left. And I'm seeing, okay, there's 1 Aston Martin gone, 1 Red Bull gone, 1 Haas gone, 1 McLaren gone. I'm in the booth, so that's 1 Williams gone. And, nope, don't see a Ferrari, don't see an AlphaTauri. Let's see, anybody else? Who am I missing? No Mercedes, 1 of the Mercedes cars. So the only full team that we've still got in this now is the Alpines. And they're both running 9th and 10th.
We're on board with Polish Hammer still sitting 4th. JC in 5th. Sober David in 6th. I don't know. I said I want to see these guys have a long run, but man, it is just so difficult. Still under safety car, lap 12 of 26. We're under the 3rd one. This is wild, guys. Justin, he goes to P7th. And for those that did the prediction, so far, everyone has chosen 4th to 7th. And if it ended right now, you would be correct. We'll see what happens. Still plenty of laps left, but man, this is a wild race. I do remember it being difficult from last season, but I was not expecting this much.
Well, let's see how that 7th place holds up, because you had Polish come in on to get a fresh set of mediums. So the only question is, how long is that going to take for him to climb up through the running order? So we'll see how Polish gets through some of these guys in the back, try to get back up in there in the top 5. But so far, I'm honestly gonna say that Kirk's gonna surprise us today. I think he's just sitting here playing soft ball with us until the final few laps. I think he's going to end up taking it if I have to make an early suggestion, well, midway suggestion. But it's gonna be interesting for Polish to make a big jump here, starting from 10th on this safety car.
Do you like his call on going back in, changing from softs to a different tire compound? I think that was a good decision.
Yes, because you're switching over from softs, which are going to tear up a whole lot easier, to mediums, which is going to give the hards more run for their money in the deg department. So, and they're faster. So, I would rather take the mediums in this situation. And you're only looking, if you're Polish, Bloomy and JC's the only ones who's got the mediums on. So I think you're in a great spot to try to gain all those positions back. And as we speak, the safety car is coming in this lap.
Yeah, we are getting ready to go back to green. And I agree. I like his call to go in. You might as well do it while you guys are under safety car. He does it now. We'll see how aggressive he's going to be. Let's start on with Polish Hammer starting P10th. And you can already tell he is already just revving up, trying to get that position. He's going to make his way past Hokie Fan, heading into the first corner here. Way down low compared to the rest of the drivers. He's going to still be P9, but see what happens. Round the second corner, you see some smoke going there, possibly some drivers making contact with the wall. We'll see what happens.
I doubt it was contact only for this thing. There's smoke that it's kind of smoke, and it's kind of like a chalky thing. It sticks up in two sections of this track. I think that's what we saw. It could have been contact. I couldn't really see it, but yeah, that's another possibility.
They were very, very close to the wall. So I'm not sure if it was contact or not, but man, cutting it close, that's for sure. Polish Hammer up 2 spots already. I'm sure he's liking his decision. The soft tires would have worn down quite a bit, not something that he wants to handle, while everyone else is on a longer lasting tire. So I think a good call, absolutely. Bloomy in 7th, Leaf Justin back up to 6th. Sober David, how about this? In the top 5, you have to love it. Cheering him on. We have JC in 4th. Kerr sitting out here P3. He is going to be right behind Mayor of Bag City, who is 1.5 seconds behind Ferrari Nut, who just seems to have a huge pace out here. And we haven't had a lot of green laps, but man, oh man, he's got some speed tonight, RC.
Yeah, and as Ferrari sets a 1:44.566 as the fastest lap, and he's already just owning the field at this point. He got a great launch. I mean, getting a 1 second lead that early off of the safety car is huge. So hopefully he can keep that up. I mean, Mayor's going to give him a run for his money, of course, but you need to try to keep that 1 second ahead when the DRS is available.
Polish Hammer up to P7, and he was right on the heels of Leaf Justin. He is back just a little bit currently, but man, look at that exit. Has a fantastic exit. He's going to be just even a little bit closer to Justin as they head into the right-hander corner. Justin goes a little bit wide, almost loses it, and that's going to cost him some time. Polish says, you know what? Now is not the time to make the pass. I'm going to hold back, and they are still off and running.
Got to get him now down this straightaway if you want to make any more progress, because he already held you up. It's going to be kind of tight the way the racing line sits. And going into turn 15 is no joke. Hard on the brake to make that left-hand turn work.
Trying to decide when to make that move. You got to be technical and methodical about it. We'll see what he does as we head onto the straight from the castle section. On the heels, and he's going to go right down underneath, and off he goes into P6, Justin into 7th. DRS isn't able to. Mayor Bag City gets the fastest lap at a minute 44.4. .7 behind Sober David. We'll see him trying to close that gap. See if he can't make his way up to P5, but man, there is a little bit of gap, and David looking solid so far. He is 0.6 off of JC, who's having a fantastic night also. See what these guys can do. It kind of seemed to be settling down a little bit, RC.
Yeah, especially with the first three, because now there's a good gap between third and fourth. As Polish is in 6th, so he needs to make up some gains here, because he's kind of off the pace of David at the moment. But the first three, they're going to sit here and they're going to play nice. Wow. They're going to try to stay together. You'll probably see Mayer catch up and maybe pass on the front stretch, but you'll see Ferrari take it back over. So they're going to play nice. Everybody else is pretty much a fair game, open season, if you would. So if you're Polish, I need to get through there fast, get back up here, but it feels like it may be just too late for Polish at this point. I don't want to say anything too much, because I'm afraid it's set to start I'm out. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
You were on board with Justin, and he made some contact with the wall that cost him some time out there. He falls to 1.5 seconds behind Polish Hammer. That is definitely going to hurt him in gaining back that spot. Polish Hammer, he is on the run, still trying to make his way up to Sober David, and he is most definitely closing that gap down. Sober David about 0.6 behind JC. We'll see how much time he can make up. Can he get to P4? We have position change. Hokie Fan going to pass the AI driver of JDM Hawk.
I just want go on board with Ferrari now, turn on the trigger, and just watch the brake and the gas and how they got the ERS system going, and just listen to the sounds of the car, watch the steering input and the gas and brake, and that should tell you everything you need to know about a street course.
Listen to the sound here. Mayor Bag City, 3-second time penalty. That is not going to help him out, RC.
Right now, it's only got him a 0.016 second difference. Right now, well, no, it don't anymore. But Kerr's definitely be able to take over that spot easily if he stays within that time frame. I just think that, man, those track limits, they bite you. They're more strict in that car, but yeah, they always come out to bite.
They most definitely do. There is not a lot of room for error here. Most certainly not. Ballistic says JC is fast. He most certainly is. He's having a fantastic race tonight. I'm excited for it. 3 drivers back to back right here. JC, we're gonna have Sober David and Polish Hammer right up to the back bumper. He has closed that gap. Fallen back a little bit. I'm not sure if he ran into trouble coming out of that last exit here, but We go around the left-hander. It's just so incredibly close with that wall. It's fun to watch, but man, it makes me nervous.
Especially when you get out there. I mean, you've had some laps racing with us, so you know how kind of tense and stressful it is on some tracks compared to others. But when you got runoff, like when you was racing with us at Australia, which happens to be our next race, you got some runoff, you feel nice, safe, but when you get on a track that is this tight, you can't, you're stiff, you can't be as free as you can at the France Grand Prix or the Australian Grand Prix. You got to make sure that every time that your left side tires and your right side tires are on that same line, because if you don't, hello wall, how are you, my old friend? And if you're pitting and losing all of that time to the pits.
It's so true. Absolutely. Polish is still right on top as Sober David, but I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love the lines that these drivers take. We got a lot of position changes going in here. Sober David trying to make the pass for JC. He not only doesn't get it, but he loses a spot, and it's going to be the Polish Hammer who takes over P5. Remember, guys, he started off from the safety car, P10, dead last, and he makes his way up. Justin, something happened with him. He is in pit lane. He had a quick caution out there. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that, where he got that, but man, really unfortunate to see. Hopefully we can get him back up there through the field, but JC still holding out P4. It is going to be tight. Polish in 5th, and Sober David, he's going to be P6.
Well, the good news is if you're top 3, you don't necessarily have to worry about pulling on back. The only problem that you have with the top 3 is Kurt's falling off the pace. So right now you got a top 2 contending for the win. Only the problem with that is you're going to have someone who has 3-second penalty. So Mayer needs to get around Ferrari as soon as possible because your laps are winding down, and you need to get over that 3-second lead mark. I doubt that's going to happen against Ferrari.
Yeah.
But anything's possible on a street circuit.
Anything is possible, but man, an uphill battle to climb. Mayer is our champion of season 6. Did a phenomenal job last season, and here again this season, just so competitive out here. Ferrari nut. If you ever watched SnB races way back in the day, he was always out there in IndyCar, just getting championships, winning races. Pretty wild. Comes over to F1 and he is just as fast. JC is definitely fast. It is crazy. He's doing great. I'm proud of him. Polish Hammer, 7.3 behind Kerr, and as RC said, Kerr is falling off, and I see him make some contact with the wall. Most certainly not going to help him as he tries to make his way up to Mayor of Bag City, who has that 3-second time penalty.
Good news for him was it's just a tire hit on the wall where the sides of the tires hit the wall. It's nothing, no damage, no nothing, so he's good. Just definitely don't want to make that mistake again, because next time you can just come at it at the wrong angle and it will mess your race up. So luckily for him, it was the right type of contact compared to the wrong type of contact. But either way, you don't want contact with the wall at all. So,
so true. On board with Sober David, sitting P6, 1.4 behind JC. Having a solid night, though. Bloomy out there in 7th. And
Hokey.
Hokey. It looks like he's still off and moving, but the safety car is out.
Oh, massive front wing damage. Slow it down, Hokey. Slow it down. You can't go that fast, my friend. You got
see how he makes it.
Whiskers on there.
Drive-through penalty for Bloomy speeding under the safety car. We had a good run, RC. We had a good run. Her just came out of pits. These drivers going to take those tires. Let's see what we have here as far as tires. Ferrari not on those mediums. Mayor of Bag City is going to come out on softs. Kerr going to be on the medium. All right, so a couple of different strategies. Once again, we've seen how to play it out in the past. Mayor of Bag City hoping to make up some time. 3-second time penalty for him, so something miraculous has to happen. Those softs, they're going to have to give him some extra speed here.
So the good thing is, if you're Kerr, Polish, everybody's bunched back up again. And so this is what I'm looking at, is the tire compound. Because you got Ferrari, he's been fast all race long, but he's on the mediums. You got Mayer, who's on the softs. You got Kerr, that's on the mediums. You got Sober, who's on 9-lap-old hards. So it's going to play a factor. And then you got Polish on his new freshest softs. We're going on 6 to go. I see one big old sprint to the finish coming up here between your top 4. I'm sorry, Sober, David. But those 9-lap-old tires aren't going to cut it to the end of this race, unfortunately. But it's going to be a nice 4-way battle for the win here. And with the tires on who took what, I kind of guarantee that a soft tire is going to win here.
I can see that, but Ferrari has been especially fast tonight. I don't know. Mayer has that 3-second time penalty. He will have to make that up. If he wants to get the win, Kerr is on those mediums. I agree with you about David. I really wish he would have maybe gone in and taken soft tires. I know those hard tires last a long time, but man, when you have everyone else around you on fresh tires and they're soft, you know Polish Hammer is going to be aggressive. He's going to try to make up as many spots as he can. Same with JC. I mean, he's having a great run tonight. He does not want to give that up. So my hope, though, is that these guys, you know, the aggressiveness is going to ramp up heading into these final laps. I don't want to see something crazy happen with more drivers getting a DNF. So hopefully we can keep it clean and bring these guys home in one piece. But I'm kind of curious how it's going to play out for sure. Bloomy with that penalty. The only other driver with a penalty is Mayer, and Bloomy has a drive-through. He has yet to go in for that, so I'm pretty sure you have to take that when you're not under safety car, correct?
You take that, it will become a time penalty if he doesn't take it. So it'll probably be about a 2-second penalty. I mean, it's pretty much a slap on the wrist. Or you can just take the drive-through. So I think he's just going to go, okay, you know what, 2 seconds, no big deal, you know, for this. So I don't think it's going to hurt him too much, especially if he gets a jump off of Leaf. So I think he'll be okay.
Polish Hammer, do you think he's going to gain a few spots? Do you think he's going to accomplish here the rest of the race?
I think he's definitely going to jump Sober off the start here, because those hard tires are going to have a hard time getting traction off the racetrack compared to those new soft tires of Polish. So then that plays the Kerr game. Will he get enough jump to pass Kerr going into turn 1 as well? That would be my question. If he doesn't, he'll have enough time to do so, but you don't want to waste too much time because you know the top 2 drivers are going to just run off. So for him, pass the first 2 as fast as possible.
I agree. You got to be fast, but that's where I'm a little nervous that things can get a little sloppy. The aggressiveness kicks in, and hopefully we don't see another safety car. We've seen four 4 or 5 so far tonight, Maverick. We're missing you out here, but man, oh man, it is wild. And I don't think as much beef that was thrown as last week, but as far as cars being injured going on here, yeah.
Oh, collide. I think everyone made it out fine. Yep.
David falls.
JC's fine. David's fine. We're good.
Polish Hammer's gonna come up to 4th. JC in 5th. Sober David falls to 6th. Leaf Justin is gonna be in 8th. Can he make up another spot? Ferrari Nut still leading the field.
Bloomy did go through for the drive-throughs, so I mean, at the least you're getting 1 point, so I wouldn't be complaining either way. But yeah, just go ahead and serve it.
That he did. Hokie Fan up to 8th here. Not gonna be 9th, and Justin goes up to 7th. For those that predicted 4th to 7th, you would get it so far. Polish Hammer, after going in, switching up the tires, coming out P10, he is up to 4th. We're gonna have Kerr 0.5 behind Mayor of Bag City. He would take over that 2nd position if the race were to end right now. We'll see if Mayor can't gain 3 seconds over Kerr. I don't know that he's going to be able to pass Ferrari Nut, though. I don't see it.
Kerr, I think, he just got too far from Polish for Polish to do anything. So it's going to be between those top 2 or the top 3 if Kerr is able to make really good laps. We're down to the final laps of this race. He'll definitely pick up 2nd if he stays here right now. But I don't think he has the power for Ferrari. I think Ferrari just got this in the bag right now.
Yeah, he just came out with the fastest lap once again. So, you know he is definitely on it. He's feeling the pressure from Mayor of Bag City, 0.5 behind. He is not ready to give that up. Mayor is just doing all he can to be up there with Ferrari Nut. Ferrari did win the first race at Bahrain.
On board with Ferrari. Let's do it.
Going around that turn 8 into the castle section. It is just so incredibly close. Mayor falling back 0.8. Sober David, virtual safety car. He got a 5-second penalty. Severe collision with Justin. You see any damage? I don't even see a wing for Justin.
Not seeing. Oh, the entire front wing is.
I mean,
gone.
it is gone.
Martin.
You know he's got to be frustrated out there. I'm not sure what happened.
I'm surprised he's able to turn that vehicle right now.
So far, just a virtual safety car. Lap 23 of 26. This race has been riddled with the safety cars. Probably not still leading that field.
One more straight course to go in this little 3 straight course stretch. But it's, I can bet that one is not going to be as safety car eventful as this one and the last one.
David and Justin on their pit box trying to repair the damage that was done during that incident. Maddie, I know. I feel the same. I feel the same. Lap 24 of 26. This race is, I would say quickly, but we are back to green. See what they can do as we head into the castle section once again. Sector 2. So close to that wall. Scares me every time.
Just lap 24, 26. You're Ferrari. You know you're fast. Just need to do it a couple of more times, just perfectly. and you got this thing in the bag, but you can't let that get to you, because that's when you make a mistake.
It's true. The key words, just perfectly. Imagine doing that through the castle section, through all the kinks and the turns.
Oh, I've done it, and it is not fun as far as a driver's perspective goes.
I can see that. I can see that. Just one little tiny error, and you saw how close these guys get to the wall. There is no room for error, and we've seen it. We've lost drivers over it. 4 drivers, in fact. Her 1.7 behind.
Oh, your God! No! Lord have mercy. Scared the crap out of me.
Ferrari Nut falls to second, and I missed what just happened, but Mayer's going to be your new leader. What in the world? What happened?
He just overextended turn 1 and just hit the wall. Luckily, he kept it straight, no damage. But he just overcalculated turn 1.
Remember, guys, he still has a 3-second time penalty, though. Lap 25 of 26. He made it to the lead. However, in order to keep that, he has to put a 3-second interval between him and Ferrari Nut. I'm not sure it's going to be able to make that happen. Kerr is 1.5 behind, but man, oh man. What a change to the race here.
This will be the first lap that Ferrari has not led
led
if Mayer crosses the line first.
Yeah. Are you going to fight for it, RC? Are you going to just say, I'm just going to hang on your back bumper, keep within that 3-second interval, and be declared the winner? Or are you going to fight for it and make the pass?
I would keep it cautious because you're already overdone turn 1 and you're on the last lap. Just keep it perfect. If you can pass, great, which he's probably going to do here going into turn 1.
Here we go, passes into turn 1. We'll see if Mayer fights back, but he's already got the 3-second time. But he went off the track, and that is going to finish him. No win for him tonight. That pretty much finishes that.
The good news is he will be getting podium, regardless of how this goes, unless we're rats out, because Polish is too far back, and
Valiant
only Kerr
effort.
would be changing him over. But that's big points difference though when it comes to the championship.
It is, most certainly. Mayor of Bag City, in fact, would lose out of second also. Kerr would pass that up just due simply to the penalty, but these guys coming into Sector 2, Ferrari not going to make his way around. If he can do it without any trouble, he will be the winner here at Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We'll see if he can make it happen. That would be a second win of the season out of 3 races. An incredible battle last week at Saudi Arabia for Ferrari Nut and Mayor of Bag City. Mayer definitely gave it his all to try to get to that lead, but unable to make it happen. Her 1.2 behind. We'll see if he can keep within the 3-second time range to take over that P2 spot. You know, Mayer's got to be frustrated, but here we go. Ferrari Nut getting on to the straightaway. He will be your winner here at Azerbaijan. He crosses the line. Here he goes. A huge congratulations to him. Mayor of Bag City finishes. He will be P3 due to that penalty. Kerr is going to take over that second spot. Polish Hammer coming back to P4. Great race for him. JC in 5th. Hooky Fan will see him making his way on by to P6. Loomy. He's got some company, and that is going to be the AI of Hawk right behind him. Here goes Bloomy, P7, Hawk 8th. Sober David had a great showing tonight, P5 for quite a while, but made some contact with Justin. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he's going to be 9th. Justin going to finish out 10th. What a race. Did you expect that many safety cars? I know you said at least one, but we definitely exceeded that.
I was thinking one, maybe two at max. There was definitely some things that didn't see coming that did show up, which is the fun of street circuits. But I don't know. I mean, this is why I love street circuits.
They're always interesting, that's for sure. All right, let's get these three in the party. And I did see the driver of the day was going to be the AI driver of Hawk. All right, and we will get Curran here, who never shows online, so I don't know which one he is. So hopefully he'll make his way in here. Another incredible race, another battle, but man, an uphill battle. Also, Ferrari Nut, congratulations on the win. You led pretty much everything tonight. How was your car feeling? Did you think we were going to have the amount of safety cars that we did?
I mean, I kind of expected the safety cars. I have got to get this rear instability on corner entry figured out for some reason, and Tim probably sees it every lap going into the first corner. Just the back end is just unsettled, and that is just killing me right now, especially on, after the tires cool down, go through a heat cycle. I mean, the thing's fast. It's a little too oversteery for my liking. But still, I'm out here riding a wild bull right now. So, as was clearly evidenced by the start of the penultimate lap when I almost face planted into the exit wall of turn 1. That was a bit of a heart and mouth moment. So I'm aiming to not have any more of those throughout the season. But I gotta sort this setup issue out.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of drivers, some of them, even the first race, didn't even have a setup going into the race. So I'm not sure if if there's a lot of setups that can be relied on. Do you make your own, or do you go out there and kind of get help from others?
I mean, I'm just grabbing a TT setup at this point and running with it. So
Fair enough. Well, you had a great race out there. Last week's battle was insane. This is your second win of the season. Next week, we are headed to Australia. Is it going to be a little bit easier than tonight?
Gonna hope so. Melbourne's typically a very strong track for me. So we're gonna hope so. Haven't really done what everybody expected and haven't really just blown the entire field away. These two have been pretty well on my butt the entire time. So
You gotta love this season. A lot of competition, so many fast drivers, and a lot of battles throughout the field. So I love it. Sitting at a viewer's point, you did a great job tonight. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week.
thank you.
All right, RC, you want to give our second an interview?
Sure can. Kerr coming in second place due to a 3-second penalty. Just tell me, the 3-second penalty, what was the game plan once you saw that the 3-second penalty on Mayer was given out?
I mean, obviously it was when at the time it happened. I was pretty much outside the 3 seconds. Kind of got bailed out by the safety car there. And a couple of mistakes that he had. But I mean, after the last safety car, it was just honestly just stay within 3 seconds. I didn't have Ferrari speed. I know I wasn't going to get up to him or anything. And I just thought maybe they could squabble a little bit, maybe get together. But just overall, just stay within 3 seconds of him, and just kind of third place speed today. It was a little slower than Tim, definitely slower than Ferrari, and would have been happy with third, but we'll take a second.
Going from the Saudi Arabia into Baku, they're different circuits, but what have you learned about your car going into these two street circuits, and what can you prepare for going into Australia?
I thought I was running quite a bit of downforce, to be honest with you. but it was still them rear tires were not happy through the middle of those stints, and I don't know. Australia has never been a good track for me. I've crashed there recently over the last few years, so we'll see what happens.
Well, you might have the third best car, but you got second place out of it. So that's great point save for anybody who can get into the top three, let alone what you were able to do. Australia coming up. Hopefully, we have us another great race between the three of us, for the three of yuns. It'd be fun to watch yet again when we go around that track. So, congratulations on the second place, Frozen. Back to you.
All right, I first want to give a shout out to Tano. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Mayor, man, you had an incredible battle. Tried to stay up there the entire night. You fought your way and staying up there. And I know there was an error at the end there. With the penalty, how did that happen? And would you change anything for your race?
Yeah, I guess I would change having a better qualifying lap. So maybe I'm second. So maybe I don't know, maybe I'm side by side with Ferrari. I take the lead and I don't have to see his brake smoke every time going in. I think it's like turn 7 or 8 or something like that. That's what really got me was, which is fine. Like he's running his car. You got to brake super hard for that corner. It's just annoying that it's so subjective where if you cut it too much, you're getting a penalty, and if you're not, you're good. And you literally can't see that when the driver's locking up in front of you. So I picked up 2 of my 3 warnings just thinking I was hitting the corner right and cutting it too tight because I couldn't even see the curbing. So I would just like to have been in front of him to not pick up the warnings. The last one was on me. I knew better than to be where I was on the last one that actually gave me the penalty, which is just a bummer. And yeah, and then I would have been more aggressive with 2 to go. I tried to give him a little bit extra space because I knew he'd work his way back in front of me right before turn 1, and I did I did a nice little ollie grind down the curb and missed the last corner, and that was the end of that. So should have been more aggressive there, but I'm not gonna be mad not wrecking somebody. I also felt like the game should have given me DRS when I passed Ferrari, but I guess I passed him just a little bit too soon when he kind of had his mistakes. That was just a bummer. I just didn't catch any breaks today. I didn't put myself in great positions either. Definitely had second place speed. I don't think I could have won the race in the end, but you never know when it comes down to 2 to go and you're racing side by side. Out route pace matters a little bit less, and it's just being perfect in those moments. Tonight I was not, so always happy to be on the podium. I felt like I was second place, third place pace realistically. I'd be a little less mad at myself if I was third place on merit, not on mistakes, but that's how she goes in this game. I just got to get better, lock in next week, and just keep stacking podiums.
Well, you did a great job getting on the podium, and I know you were fighting really hard. It was really fun to watch. Next week, I got to ask, how do you feel about Australia?
Yeah, well, I was confident going into this week. I had won both the races I'd been here in the series. I also have 2 wins at Australia, so it's a track I should be quick with. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm right on Ferrari's tail. Won't be surprised either if Kerr, it's a lot easier to go through the chicane section that was giving him problems the last couple seasons. So we'll not be surprised if he's right there with us again, and hopefully we all have comparable pace and can put on a good show and be racing each other, drafting off each other. A lot of DRS straights here, so it's going to be should be a good, exciting race. But it's a track I really like. I really get in a good flow. We could not get into any kind of rhythm today, which was annoying. Like it was just every other lap, safety car, VSC, whatever. So I just hope everybody keeps it on track, so I can get into some sort of a rhythm and put down some clean laps and hopefully be right there with Ferrari at the end, and we'll put in another good show like the last 3 weeks. So I'm excited for it. Track I really like. It should be a fun time, and I hope everybody's there watching.
All right, well, you heard it from Mayor. Congratulations on your podium. Farina, great win tonight. Rangers in second. A fun race, but man, riddled with safety cars. You can see it took a couple of cars with the track. Next week, I think it's going to be a really, really fun race. So I hope you're there to tune in for it. RC, where did Justin finish for a prediction? So you would know where Justin finished. Justin.
If I look back, I think it was 10th if I'm not mistaken.
Justin finished 9th.
Okay.
Ninth. Okay, I was focused on the one driver who wrecked on the straightaway and DNF'd themselves. But yeah, unfortunately, our viewers didn't get it right on this one, but I know they will get it right next time.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight, for the follows, for the subs, for chatting, for taking the time out to show support for the drivers and the love. I know they appreciate it, and so do we. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week at Australia. It should be a fun race. Tune in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you next week.